Hello and welcome to this week's video. It's going to be about the Tesla full self-driving beta that's recently been released and what kind of impact this can have later on. So recently Tesla released the full self-driving beta for selected people. So since this full self-driving beta has been released, we've seen that it is pretty cool and it's working really well, but it's definitely not the final product. There are still quite a few problems and often the driver has to take over, but it's pretty cool to see the car driving and maneuvering through traffic all on its own. And you can see on the little display how it's picking up all the different cars, the pedestrians and the people crossing the road, and all of that in real time and then reacting to it. So it's really interesting how far they've come with that. You can tell that Tesla's super confident with where they're at right now because they've released this to certain people in the public. And of course, if there was an accident or something would go badly wrong, it would be terrible for their reputation. And they've really brought it out at a good time because Waymo just recently came out with a trial where they're testing in a certain area self-driving taxis, and then that's also without an actual person driving them. One of the great things about this beta is that the cars are always learning on every trip where somebody's using this mode. Each time the Tesla is in the wild, driving around on its own, and maybe somebody has to take over, it can see what the problem was and it can make sure that in the next time it will improve on that. And the great thing is, if somebody owns a Tesla, they can just upgrade their software and then they have the most up-to-date and the best self-driving capabilities available. And having this feature in the Tesla itself is a really great opportunity for the person who owns the vehicle, because this opens up the possibility to have your own ride-sharing service with that self-driving car. Because then when you're at work or at home and you're not using the car, it can be driving out and picking people up and taking them to their destination for a small fee. So essentially owning the Tesla is an asset that's making you money, because whilst you're not using it, people are paying you to get from A to B. And this can all be done because the car can just drive off on itself and people can then hail it with a Tesla app. And this is also a great opportunity for ride-sharing companies to buy huge amounts of Teslas and have them as fleet vehicles, because then again the cars can be driving themselves and they don't need to pay the workers to be driving the cars and picking people up. So they're saving huge amounts of costs and the operational costs will be much lower as well. And of course for Tesla this is wonderful because they'll be selling lots of cars and generating huge amounts of cash, which they can then reinvest into the company to further its growth. So maybe it's actually a really good time to invest in Tesla because it's still early days, but they have a really big lead on this. So what do you think? Would you want to have your own self-driving robo-taxi, or would that mean you would miss the driving experience too much? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.